So there was a time, and I wish I could tell you the whole story, and maybe over the next weeks or in the 2012, I'll give you more pieces to this whole picture. But one of the things began to happen is I personally said, God, I realize I've been here a long time. Lord, I want to be here as long as you want me to be here. And by the way, while I'm saying this, I'm not going anywhere. So, okay, but I just want to tell you, but we have to do something. Some changes need to happen. But as I was thinking about it, I said, God, I realize that, my time might be up here soon. I don't know when that's going to be, but Lord, I don't want to just wait to the very end, and I don't want to just have a good ride for myself. I say, I got to invest in my children. I got my children's children. I got friends who have their children. They have their children's children. And aside from the ones that are growing up here, Lord, there are people out there that need to hear this good news. So in that search, I began to look for opportunities to bring people around us that what I thought had the abilities and the vision and the strategic giftings to take us on, because I just don't have them all. I have energy, I have passion, but I realize I have limitations to go on. So there was about 10 years ago, I had an opportunity to be with a young man, and a young man that was in the church, but I didn't know much about him, but I set aside a time to have coffee. So I went down to where he was working, and as I had coffee with him and learned what he was doing and what God was doing in his life, I walked away and I said, wow, that person, we need to have that person on our staff and helping us go on into the future. Fast forward at least 5 years from that time, is that I had an opportunity to invite him to be on our staff, and he did come on our staff. And then after a period of time being on our staff, there was something I realized that just wasn't happening. We as a church, I felt, were plateauing. We had plateaued, and what happens when you plateau is you're going to start doing this. You'll start doing this. So somewhere on that curve, I felt that where we were, and we were dangerously close to doing this as a church. I didn't want that to happen. Something had to happen, and for us to gain that momentum again. And thus, you talk about why we come up with a series of momentum, all building a foundation for this. But as I did, and I had this young man, I said, man, he has the abilities. What is it? Well, I realized that I was trying to give him responsibility without the authority to carry it out. Now, that's a very frustrating position. Any of you know that. You give responsibility. You want him to do all these things, but he doesn't have the authority. So I knew something had to happen, and he needed to give that authority. So, thus, in order for us to go on to the future, I'd like to announce to you today that we have identified someone that's going to come alongside of me, and that's Jeff Razor. And Jeff Razor is going to come. I'm going to invite Jeff up here now. Now here, let me tell you Jeff's position. Jeff is going to take on the position as Chief Executive Officer, which will be CEO over all of the things that we have, so that he can get a hold of all the things, and Executive Pastor. And along with that executive pastor, he's going to be one of the teaching pastors and sharing here. So for the next years, we're going to be working together to see how God develops this thing. I believe this is the guy that's going to help us and come alongside of us. So welcome him once again, and he's going to take us. We're going to take us.